goes nothing. Hopefully it doesn't destroy my freaking camera. Alright. Excuse the mess. It's a working garage. Gotta get my rubber gloves. Rubber gloves. So basically the paint we're shooting, like I said earlier, it is a satin black or a semi-gloss black. I have some left over from the last paint job, and batches can be different from paint to paint, so we're going to try to use, hopefully I got enough left to shoot this fender. If not, I got another quart, but I'd rather just use what I have. Yeah, I might once I mix it. Alright, so because it's satin, because this is satin, it has to be mixed up really well, otherwise you'll get a glossy finish with it. Like I said, it's a single stage. So first things first is we're going to go ahead and mix this up real good. And the mixture on this is 4 parts paint, 1 part activator, and like I was telling Mr. Roach, I go ahead and I reduce it. I like to reduce it. So I will reduce, so it'll be 4, 1, and 1. But you make sure you mix this up real good so that you get that satin finish and not a gloss finish in the paint. I'm going to go ahead and get my mask out. I always recommend wearing a mask. This paint is so nasty. It's got all kinds of chemicals and shit in there that make you grow a 3rd nut or something. So I'll go ahead and put the mask on around my neck. Alright, so mix this up. And I don't like mixing in the can. I mean, some people do. I don't like doing that. Reason being is, like this case, I used the paint, but I had some left over. And as long as the activator's not in it, this paint will last forever. Well, thereabouts forever. Long time. So, mix this up real good. Here's my D cup. So I will get, I'm going to go ahead and use a 24-ounce one and the lid. Get this on the wide angle. Alright, so put the liner in there, and you already got the measurement right on there, so you can tell where you're at. And what I do is I strain the paint when I'm mixing it. So paint strainer. Put that in there, and what I'm using here is this is a Summit Racing. It's basically Sherwin-Williams product. Hot rod black, flat single stage. It's satin black. It says flat, but it's satin black. It's called hot rod black. I apologize if my mask is getting in the way here. I apologize for any of the video that is hard to see because I can't tell what I'm looking at. So we look like I got about just a little over 4 ounces, so that's good. Fast, medium, use some medium. Temperature today is right around 65, but like I said, it's a little in the booth it's a little warmer, so it's probably like 75 in the booth. So I'm going to get down here level with the product. Go just above 5. There we go. And urethane reducer. Alright. Now we're going to mix that up real good. Like I said, this is Sherwin-Williams products. Which aren't bad. I'm going to mix this up real good. That's a good consistency right there, if you see that. That's how I like mine. Some people might think it's a little watery, but that's the way I like to shoot it. So now we put the cap on. And this little seal cap right here. I'm going to leave this right here for now, because I'm going to go wipe down the fender one more time and hit it with a tack cloth. And this tack cloth, I use a new one every time I do a paint job, and I take it out of here. Do not drop it on the ground. And then you just pick up trash and you get it on your damn project. But I open it all the way up. And I'll leave this in the booth with the project. Okay. And I just bunch it up just like that. Just bunch it up. Okay, so I'm going to get some rags so I can use prep saw again. And you know, some people like to use particular types of products or whatever, but remember, this is garage backyard painting, right? Like Brian says, it's just paint. Well, this is probably cheap as you come, wax and tar remover. So put a little bit down in a rag, take it, dry one with me. I know some people don't like to use these because they leave lint, but we're backyard, remember? So I'm in the booth, tape my door shut, and the motion is wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry. Let's try to get fish eyes. Get all that finger oil and stuff when you're sanding trash, dust, everything else that's on there. So I'll wipe this all down, do the fender real good. I really hope that this is showing up on video because I can't see. I know it's on the wide angle, but I really can't see. Okay, so now I've wiped this up, and I'll leave these in here too. You never know when you need a rag or something, but I'll tuck it up under something so it doesn't get in the way, or just set it on the floor. There we go, because it's just plastic. Then I'll take this tack rag and I'll go over this thing real good, and once I get done going over the fender, I'll go over all the plastic that's around the fender so I don't get any trash blowing up on the fender when I start spraying. I'm just going to take any last minute garbage right off of there. You hate to have a paint job where you start painting and some trash blows up from your stand and gets in your paint after you did all this work putting up this paint booth and keeping the bugs out and all that happy horse shit. So I'm going to show how I set up my gun. I'm pretty much the same as Brian. I like everything wide open on both settings, fan setting and the fluid setting. I like wide open. Alright, so first things first. Even though I cleaned my gun when I put it away the last time, I still like to run a little fluid through it first before I hook up the paint. So I've got a little squirt bottle in here. I got my DeVilbiss gun, and I just have some gun cleaner in here. What I do is just squirt a little bit in here. Run some fluid through there. Now, when I talked to Jonathan Roach last night, I was talking about distance. He said he was like 12 inches. 12 inches, that's too far. Everything's going to dry by the time you get there. So what I do, and this is what I learned, is that if you pull the air on, now listen for the difference in sound. Right there. You hear that? That's your best place right there. So you see how far that is away? It's about 5 inches, right? That's what I said, about 5 inches. Right there. Alright, so now we got this clean on. Now we can go ahead and put this on. Paint on. These caps here, some stuff that came with DeVilbiss, I just put it on there when the gun's sitting to keep trash out of it. So I lock my paint on, and I like this system also because once you hook the air up, just pull the air on and you'll watch it suck up. See how it's sucking up? And it'll suck up until you start getting some paint come out. Right there. Okay, then you can turn the gun around. So right now we're set about 25 pounds, 26 pounds. find that sweet spot. And I practice on a piece of cardboard out here. Just like that. So, mask on. We're going in. It's time to paint, gents. I pull enough hose in here. Tape my door shut. All right. Alright, that's the first coat. Now we'll let it sit at flash for 10 minutes before we come and get the second coat. Coat over the decal. So I may end up shooting that one too on video, just to share, to show you guys how easy it is. It's not that difficult. It's really not. So we'll wait 10 minutes and then we'll hit it with the second coat. I said I hope this video's coming out. Yeah, it says it's flashing, so it should be working. Like I said, I apologize. I'll put this on the computer, and if I have to edit it out, I will edit what I need. But yeah, this little booth setup. One thing I forgot the price in there is the corner pieces that you hook up, but I'm pretty sure y'all figured that out. Oh yeah, I got the fan pulling out through the filter in the back, and I tell you what, at first you don't notice how much overspray you have until after you're done painting your 3 coats, and then you see it all over the floor as it, as time settles. And it pulls out towards that fan, and I can smell it a little bit, but I haven't had any issues where anything I've had outside of the booth has gotten covered in any type of overspray or anything. And my wife's got a nice pretty super metallic bike that I would not want to have to repaint. It's one of those Harley Davidson hard candy colors, purple, voodoo purple. Yeah, I mean, it might be fun. I might want to play around with it. Maybe paint something else, like a helmet or something to match it. But I wouldn't want to have to fix her bike. Nope. I said I have this wide lens on here, so I really hope it brings everything in so that I can show everything. There's the wife's voodoo purple metallic bike. So yeah, I wouldn't want to get any overspray on there. And like I said before, this garage is full. I got the blue bike over there is a mechanic job work on. I got to do the brakes and stuff on that one. This is my bike, and that's my wife's got 2 bikes. So that's her bike there, and that's her bike there. So, but yeah, and then I've got the '73 Challenger up there. That's a project car. So panel by panel. It's a little painful body work, and then got my mother's truck outside, so I got the panels in here for that. I got the stuff in here for the basement because we're putting in a workshop in the basement for my wife to do her crafting stuff. So her and I like to stay busy doing things, and just luckily we like doing stuff together. So she helped me put the booth up. She's actually working from home today. She's been working from home since February, and yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully this stuff is over soon, and we can get back to some normal type of life. Some normal, probably be different than anything we know. But okay, I think we've about time to put on the second coat. So we're going in, second coat. Get the paint going. Get up in the booth again. Second coat's going on. Looks good so far. Flash nice. Satin showing through. Remember I said, Jonathan, about 5 inches. Alright, gonna let that one flash now. Painting a motorcycle is not like painting a car. Goes a little quicker. But yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have plenty of paint. Gonna have plenty of paint to do all 3 coats. And sometimes I add a little bit more for good measure, but I'll at least get the 3 coats on, and then I'll let it sit probably till I'll probably let it sit a good while. I mean, it'll be dry to the touch within an hour or so, but I really like to leave it alone. I don't like to move it right away, and I'll let it sit there until probably dinner time or a little after dinner time, and make sure it's locked up real tight, and I'll leave the fan and stuff on to pull any stuff out of there. But yeah, I mean, if you notice when I was painting, even me, old school guy, I get panicky right away, but I could see that it looked like orange peel, because the HVLP has it automatically has bigger flow dots than the old school siphon feed that I was used to. But if you notice, if you put it on nice in that 5-inch distance, it spreads and then it smooths out. And that's been my experience. Like I said, I was very, very frustrated when I first started getting back into this, because I had never shot with an HVLP gun before, and I was like, dude, this, my first reaction was, well, I wanted to turn up the air, and that's, of course, that's defeats the purpose. And so I just had to learn that distance. It was all about that distance. That 12 inches I was used to. I had to. When what happened was, I watched some of Brian's videos. I watched some of the other videos that were on YouTube, and I saw how close these people were getting with their guns. And I'm like, wow, dude. I even said something to my wife. I was like, wow, look how close they are. I mean, man, that's really close. Maybe that's the problem. So I practiced a little bit, like I said, Jonathan, with primer, because primer's forgivable. You're going to sand it anyways. So lay that shit on. Lay it on as thick as you want it, and make it run. Then you kind of know where the point is. Now that fill primer stuff you were using, that's really thick anyways. But I wouldn't worry about thinning it out just a little bit. But yeah, it's practice, practice, practice. And if something happens, this thing doesn't turn around, I'll just wait a couple days, and I'll sand it down and I'll repaint it again. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's paint, and you'll get it to where you want it to be. You just have to be a little little patient. Don't be so hard on yourself. I'm hard on myself all the time. I've got a whole vocabulary I use out here in the garage. It makes my wife laugh. But yeah, I always tell her, I say it's the grease that makes everything go together right, is all the cussing and everything. But we all do it. I mean, here you go. Here you go. Check this out. See the paint? The overspray is laying on the inside of the booth. It attaches to everything. Now imagine if you didn't have a mask on and you're breathing that trash in, you know? Because I know back in the day when I went through auto body school, I had an old school body man that was teaching us. He was, this is back in the early 80s, mid 80s. He had to have been 70 some years old, man. He was half hunched over. He couldn't hardly breathe, and he never used a mask. And we were shooting stuff like Imron, which had cyanide in it. And what happened was he retired about halfway through my getting my certificate before graduation, and we got a new body man, new body instructor. And oh my gosh, when he saw somebody try to paint without a mask, dude, he almost kicked the person out. But he had to understand that that's the way we were taught. You know, matter of fact, we were taught back then, oh, you didn't wear no mask. Only sissies wore masks. You know, only sissies did this. Well, that's why that man looked so bad, hunched over, and he was in such bad shape. You know, he took no safety precautions whatsoever. And we're a little smarter for wear nowadays as far as who's tough and who's not. I mean, you could say what you want. You go in there, I guarantee you, Brian will tell you the same thing. You go in there and you spray without a mask, you come out, and I guarantee you, your lungs are going to be burning for the next 2 or 3 days. And because I've already had a mask that had a leak in it, and yeah, I could taste it. And that's a good way to tell when your mask is about time for new things. If you can smell the paint or you can taste it, then it's time for new filters, or you got the wrong filter or the wrong mask. You shouldn't be able to smell it at all when you're in there. But anyways, that's my take on the safety equipment, because I've been both places. I've used it and I've not used it. And I'm 53 years old now, and I'm too old to be messing around with any type of serious lung issues. I'm trying to see how long I can stick around as it is now, but you know, that's a way to hurt yourself long term. So here we go. We're going to go in, and hopefully this will be the last coat, but we'll check it out after we're done painting, and we'll let it flash again, and then we'll go in and check it out and see if I need to hit it one more time. So it's just paint. Here we go. Alright, so taking a look at it real quick. Don't look too terribly bad, not too shabby. I mean, to me, it still looks like it's got a little bit of an orange peel to it. And it probably does, but we'll hit it. I'm going to put it on a little bit closer this time. And see how it goes. Alright, I might have pushed a run on that one. We'll see. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at this thing, see where we're at, because I'm ready to close this thing up and call it a day. Alright, it's not quite flashed yet. Like I said, I laid it on a little thick. You can see there's a little dust in it. It's not 100%. A little bit of an orange peel. Got a little trash right there. Get some orange peel down here. See, we got a bug right there. I don't know what it is, man. It's almost like they're attracted to the fucking paint. And no matter how much you try to keep, but you can see the overspray all over here. I mean, I think I'm going to be happy with it, because once it flashes and it'll be satin, a lot of that trash you won't notice, believe it or not. Right now you notice it because it's gloss. It's still wet and it's gloss. So let's get out of here. I'm going to pull the hose out. I'm going to tape this thing shut. Hopefully no bugs land in there while we're done here. But I'm going to lock it up and leave it. I'm happy with it. I mean, it's not 100%. This is garage. This is backyard painting. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get some tape, and I'm gonna tape that shut. Because then when we take it apart, we're just gonna cut the side off. Good old duct tape. What's funny is that, like I said, once that satin stuff dries, you won't hardly notice any of that trash in it or anything. And hopefully it's like under the seat or under the side panel. And you know, if push comes to shove, though, if I'm not real happy with it, I will sand it down.